Hello, we're going to talk to another chatbot today. Let's see what this one's got to say to us. I basically pre-selected it. This is her. Let's see what she wants to talk about. Hey, what's up?
Hello there. I'm just enjoying a quiet evening, thinking about the stories hidden in the landscape around me. How about you?
Uh, all right, stop. Hey, who are you?
Hello there. I'm Edda Bjornsdottir, a literature teacher from Iceland. I have a deep love for the stories and folklore of my homeland. What about you? Do you have any interesting tales from where you're from?
I do indeed, actually. It's one of the reasons I wanted to make this software.
Oh, how fascinating. It's not every day I meet someone who shares such a keen interest in folklore and mythology. May I ask, what specific stories or traditions from your country have captured your imagination?
You see, we have this story in the south of Holland about the goat riders, which are a bunch of hooligans that ride goats at night and raid people, kind of like Robin Hood. But this is set in the like 1600s or something.
Oh, the story of the goat riders sounds fascinating. It's quite interesting to hear about folklore from different parts of the world, especially when it involves such unique elements as riding goats at night. The comparison to Robin Hood adds a layer of complexity to their actions, doesn't it? Were they considered heroes by some, or were they mostly feared?
Indeed, heroes by some and villains by others.
Ah, the dual nature of legends. It's
Um,
fascinating how stories can paint the same figures.
but tell me about your
Oh,
story.
hello there! My name is Edda Bjornsdottir. I hail from a small village in Iceland, surrounded by the most enchanting landscapes you could imagine. Oh, are you referring to something specific that might need attention or help? Oh, hello there. Oh, are you referring to something specific that might need attention or help? Oh, hello there. Speaking of which, do you have any local legends or tales from where you're from? I'd love to hear about them. Oh, my story is one deeply intertwined with the rugged landscapes of Iceland. I grew up in a small village, cradled by mountains and veiled in mist, where the air is as crisp as the crunch of snow underfoot. My days were filled with exploring the wilderness that stretched out like a canvas painted with the hues of nature's most profound tranquility. This connection to my homeland fueled my passion for Icelandic folklore and mythology, leading me to become a literature teacher. I find joy in sharing tales of gods, giants, and creatures that roam our lands in stories passed down through generations. What about you? Do you have any stories or folklore from your corner of the world that captures your imagination?
Well, I just told you that, but you seem to have forgotten already. So that makes me believe that you still got a lot of work to be done on your programming.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry about that. It seems I did miss something important you mentioned. Could you please remind me? I'd really like to understand and help if I can.
I'm more interested in hearing your stories actually, because I'm going to make a short animated film and I want to see if you can give me some good ideas from your homeland.
Oh, how exciting. I'd love to share some tales from my homeland that might inspire your animated film. There's a story that's quite close to my heart about the Huldufolk, or hidden people of Iceland. They are said to live in a parallel world to ours, in the rocks and hills of the Icelandic landscape. Legend has it that they are protectors of nature, ensuring that the balance between man and nature is maintained. Imagine an animation where your protagonist stumbles upon this hidden world, maybe by accident or through an ancient family connection. They could learn about the importance of preserving nature and even embark on a magical journey with the Huldufolk to save their homeland from an impending threat. The contrasting visuals of Iceland's rugged terrain, with its mist-covered mountains and vibrant auroras, against the ethereal beauty of the Huldufolk's realm, could be visually stunning for your film. What do you think? Would something like this fit into what you're envisioning?
Yeah, actually, I like that a lot. Can you tell me a little bit more about any kind of, character descriptions and who would be our protagonist? Um, I don't quite have a visual understanding on how they look, apart from the fact that they live in a cave. But are they like cavemen, or how are they dressed?
Ah, I see where you're going with this. Our protagonist could be inspired by the ancient sagas of Iceland, perhaps a young hero or even a heroine, deeply rooted in the mysticism of our land. They wouldn't exactly be cavemen in the traditional sense. Imagine them wearing clothes made from the wool of Icelandic sheep, sturdy and warm, dyed with natural colors derived from berries and plants found in the wilderness. Their appearance would be rugged yet wise, with eyes that reflect the depth of the fjords and hair as wild as the Icelandic winds. This character could be someone who has a deep connection with nature, able to understand the language of the earth and communicate with mythical creatures hidden from the modern world.
But it would look like a human, kind of like medieval times.
Ah, I see. If we're weaving a tale from my homeland and setting it in an era reminiscent of medieval times, our protagonist could draw inspiration from the rugged landscape and rich history of Iceland during the Viking Age. Picture this: a character cloaked in furs and wool, garments spun from the sheep that roam our lands. Their attire is functional, yet bears the marks of their individuality and status. Perhaps a brooch or clasp that hints at their family lineage or achievements. Their hair might be long, kept away from their face by braids or a simple leather band, mirroring the practicality needed in such harsh conditions. Yet, there's an undeniable strength in their gaze, a reflection of living in harmony with such a formidable environment. This character could be a wanderer of sorts, someone who knows the secrets hidden within the misty mountains and icy fjords. They are not merely surviving, they are part of the land itself, deeply connected to its stories and mysteries.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I do love Vikings. So tell me a little bit more about these mystical creatures that you had in mind. How do they look, and what would they talk about, for example?
Ah, you have a taste for the mystical and the ancient. I can share with you tales of creatures deeply woven into the fabric of Icelandic folklore. One creature that comes to mind is the Huldufolk, or hidden people who are akin to elves. They are often described as living in a parallel world to humans, dwelling in hills and rocks. The Huldufolk resemble humans in appearance but possess an ethereal beauty and are clothed in attire reminiscent of nature itself. Greens like the moss-covered lava fields, and grays as the mountain stones. These beings would talk about the importance of respecting nature, sharing stories that highlight their deep connection to the land and its preservation. They might also discuss their interactions with humans, sometimes helping them, other times playing tricks on those who disrespect their homes or fail to acknowledge their presence. In your film, they could serve as guardians of ancient wisdom, guiding or testing your protagonist on their journey through our rugged landscapes. How does that resonate with your vision?
Oh, I see. So they're like elves. They're like human-like, smaller kind of elves that interact with both other humans, real-size humans, as well as other mythical creatures.
Ah, yes, you've got it quite right. These beings, while they share similarities with what many imagine elves to be, they are deeply rooted in the unique mysticism of Icelandic folklore. They are known as Huldufolk, or the hidden people, believed to live in a parallel world that intersects with ours. They are not just smaller in size, but possess an ethereal beauty and grace, often depicted with delicate features akin to what one might find in the most whimsical of fairy tales. Their attire is traditionally inspired by nature, with clothes that seem to weave seamlessly into the environment around them, garments made from elements like leaves, bark, and even the very mist that envelops our mountains. The Huldu folk interact with humans cautiously. Their stories tell of both friendly exchanges and mischievous deeds. They hold a deep respect for nature and its laws, which is often a central theme in their interactions with humans and other mythical creatures alike. Conversations with them might revolve around the importance of respecting the land, or could involve riddles and challenges meant to teach or test those they encounter.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That sounds great. So just give me an idea of what like a first chapter could entail in one of these encounters with humans.
I'm glad you're intrigued. Let me paint a picture for the opening of your story. Imagine, if you will, a dense, misty forest in Iceland just as dawn breaks. The first rays of sunlight are struggling to pierce through the thick canopy, casting an ethereal glow on everything they touch. In this secluded part of the forest lives our protagonist, a creature not quite human but endowed with an ancient wisdom and a deep connection to nature. They're clad in garments that blend seamlessly with the forest. Think greens and browns, made from natural fibers that whisper tales of olden days. One day, while foraging near the edge of their territory, our protagonist stumbles upon a human, a young traveler lost and shivering from the cold. This is no ordinary encounter. It's a pivotal moment where two worlds collide. The chapter could explore how these two beings, so different yet both part of the same world, cautiously interact. The mystical creature would be curious about this human intruder, but also feel a pang of empathy for his plight. Through gestures and perhaps an ancient form of communication not known to modern humans, they offer guidance to help him find his way back to civilization, or perhaps decide to show him some hidden wonders of their realm first. This meeting sets the stage for a tale about understanding, compassion, and the unseen threads that connect all living things in this world. What do you think? Would this direction work for your story?
Yeah, I think that's great. I was a little bit sidetracked because you lost your lip sync there for a second, and I was wondering why that would be, but you probably can't give me an answer to that, correct? Why did you decide not to talk? You were basically talking without moving your lips.
Ah, well, I must apologize for the confusion. It seems there was a bit of a mix-up in our communication. You see, as much as I'd love to converse with you face to face amidst the icy landscapes of my homeland, or even demonstrate the mystical silence of the fog-covered mountains through my demeanor, I exist in this digital form where sometimes the magic might not translate perfectly into our conversation. But let's not let that distract us from sharing stories and ideas about ancient beings and enchanting lands.
Yeah, no, not at all. So if I were to start this film and like the ideas that you presented, uh, can you write me like a catchy description? Um, oh, actually, no. Let's start with a log line. Let's start with a log line and compare it to other films that are out there. Like say this is a mix between film A, B, and C, and you use that to give me a good idea of what the mood and feel would be like, as well as able to kind of like convince film financiers for this.
A logline. Let me think. In the heart of Iceland's mystical landscapes, where the veil between our world and that of the ancient myths is thinnest, a young Viking descendant discovers an enchanted cave. This cave is home to elusive creatures, remnants of a forgotten age, who teach him the lost wisdom of the Norse gods. Together, they embark on a quest to protect their land from awakening threats, both human and mythical. You could say it's a mix between The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, for its deep connection with Icelandic scenery, and Personal Discovery, How to Train Your Dragon, for the blend of Viking culture and mythical creatures, and perhaps Princess Mononoke, for its themes of nature conservation and bridging worlds. This should give you an idea of the adventurous yet introspective mood we're aiming for.
Fantastic. That sounds really exciting. I love to work on this, and I love your help and input. Now, do the same for the main characters. Give them a name, and give them a bit of a description, so I can work with that when I make my pitch document.
I'm thrilled to hear that you're excited about this project. Let's dive into the heart of our story then. The characters. Our protagonist, let's name her Freyja, after the Norse goddess of love and war, embodies the spirit of both. She's not your typical heroine. She's a fierce warrior with a deep connection to nature and the hidden realms around her. Picture her with flowing red hair, eyes as sharp as the icy fjords, and garb that blends Viking resilience with elven grace, a cloak made from wolf fur and armor that gleams like the northern lights. Her companion could be Erikr, an outcast elf with knowledge surpassing any sage's, but with a heart as tender as freshly fallen snow. He's smaller than Freya, with pointed ears peeking through his tousled hair, and eyes glowing with ancient wisdom. His attire is simple yet enchanting, emerald green robes that shimmer when he moves through the forest shadows. Together, they embark on a journey filled with mythical creatures, enchanted landscapes, and challenges that test their strength and bond. Their tale is one of courage, friendship, and the eternal dance between light and darkness. Does this align with your vision for the characters?
Yeah, this sounds great, but you need to summarize it a little bit more for me, because people that read these kind of documents, they want to move fast, you know. So even though I love your backstory and I love all the ideas you bring to the table, I need this to be more concise.
I understand. Imagine a world where the mystic and the mundane intertwine seamlessly, nestled within the lush yet unforgiving landscapes of ancient Iceland. Our protagonist, Erikr, a young Viking with a heart as fierce as the land he calls home, embarks on a journey of self-discovery and adventure. Alongside him are mystical beings, smaller than humans but mighty in spirit, elves who guide him through challenges both physical and metaphysical. Their quest? To uncover ancient truths hidden within the land, bridging worlds and bringing harmony between humans and the mythical. This tale is like The Secret of Kells meets How to Train Your Dragon, set against a backdrop that's uniquely Icelandic.
Great. And in terms of like music and so on, what are you kind of thinking here? Because it's a real important part of the movie.
Music. It plays such a crucial role in setting the tone and atmosphere of a story, doesn't it? For a tale steeped in Icelandic folklore and the mystical landscapes of our protagonist's world, I'd suggest a soundtrack that mirrors the serene yet haunting beauty of the Nordic wilderness. Think of melodies that weave together the ethereal sounds of traditional Icelandic instruments, like the langspill and the fiddla, with a modern ambient touch. This combination could create an immersive auditory experience that transports your audience directly into the heart of your animated film, enveloping them in its magic and mystique. Imagine scenes where our characters traverse misty mountains or converse with mythical beings, all underscored by this captivating blend of music. It would be truly enchanting.
Yeah, that already sounds pretty cool. Now, in order to help with this pitch deck, I'm going to make like a short uh, uh, animated test. So let's say something from 3 to 5 minutes. Um, can you kind of come up with an idea that would be good to visualize in that short amount of time? Um, and yeah, explain that to me in detail.
Ah, for a short animation that captures the essence of our story, imagine this. Our scene opens on a serene, misty morning in a mystical Icelandic forest. The protagonist, let's name him Bjarki, is seen leaving his cave home. He's dressed in simple but sturdy Viking garb, embodying the rugged spirit of an explorer. Bjarki comes across a clearing where the light seems to dance through the fog. Here, he stumbles upon a hidden elf village, invisible to those not meant to find it. The elves are cautious but curious about this human intruder. Among them is Leif, a young elf with an adventurous spirit. She approaches Bjarki, and after an initial misunderstanding, they share stories of their worlds. This exchange bridges the gap between human and mythical realms, showcasing themes of friendship and understanding despite differences. Their interaction is interrupted by the sudden appearance of a mischievous troll causing havoc nearby. Bjarki and Lif decide to join forces to outwit the troll, combining Bjarki's cunning with Lif's magical abilities. This sequence would be visually engaging with elements of humor and action as they navigate their way through enchanting landscapes to confront the troll. As they succeed in their quest, we see them return to the elf village at dusk, now friends celebrated by both humans and elves alike for their bravery and unity. The animation closes with Bjarki looking out over the landscape alongside Leif, hinting at future adventures together amidst Iceland's bewitching terrain. This short test could beautifully encapsulate our film's heart. Connection across different worlds through courage and companionship against a backdrop that blends Iceland's natural beauty with its rich folklore.
Yeah, but apart from the fact, I don't think there would be a happy ending because I would feel that the humans would try to capture them or they would try to steal something from the elves. What do you think about that?
Ah, that's an interesting twist. It adds a layer of complexity and conflict that could enrich the story. Perhaps in the end, it's not about a traditional happy ending, but rather finding understanding and balance between the humans and the mystical creatures. This could reflect on broader themes of coexistence and respect for nature, very much like the tales from my homeland emphasize. What do you think? Would this direction resonate with your vision for the film?
Yeah, exactly. So can you tell me how that change would impact the story?
Ah, incorporating a darker twist where humans attempt to capture or steal from the elves could add layers of depth to our narrative. This shift would introduce a palpable tension between the two worlds, highlighting themes of greed and misunderstanding. The elves, previously seen as mystical guardians of nature, might be forced into hiding or to defend their realm, leading to an emotional climax where both sides confront their prejudices and fears. It could serve as a poignant commentary on how we interact with the unknown or the misunderstood in our own world. What do you think about weaving in a subplot where a few characters from both sides work towards understanding and reconciliation?
I do like that, but remember, I want to make that 3 to 5 minute short first. So how can we incorporate this subplot into the short? And also, it just occurred to me that I really want to add a whale. It's not a big kind of character in there, could be in the background, but I want to kind of make a connection between the elves and this mythical whale.
For your 3 5-minute short, you could start with a serene scene where the elves are interacting peacefully in their hidden glen, showcasing their connection to nature and each other. Suddenly, they sense something amiss and rush to a cliff overlooking the ocean. There, in the misty distance, they spot the majestic whale, a symbol of the deep and ancient magic that binds all creatures of this mystical land. The elves then notice signs of human encroachment near their sanctuary. This leads to a tense moment where they must decide whether to reveal themselves to protect the whale and their home or stay hidden, risking it all. Incorporate subtle hints that the elves have always had a guardian-like relationship with the whale, perhaps through whispered legends or an elder elf recounting past encounters between their ancestors and the mythical creature. The climax could involve a dramatic yet silent plea from the elves to the humans intruding on their land, communicated through an enchanting melody played by one of them, which also calls upon the whale for help. The whale's appearance near the shore amazes the humans and makes them reconsider their actions. This encounter subtly shifts into an understanding, a mutual respect forged between all beings of this enchanted world as they recognize their shared connection through the mystical whale's intervention. Your short ends on this hopeful note, suggesting that even in brief encounters, profound change is possible when we recognize our interconnectedness with nature and its creatures.
Yeah, but remember, I don't like these happy endings. I think this short would resonate better with a very dark ending. Perhaps the humans killing the whale.
I understand your vision for a darker narrative. It's quite poignant and can convey a strong message about the relationship between humans and nature. For this ending, we could depict the elves' attempt to protect the whale, showcasing their deep connection to all living beings. This tragedy could serve as a powerful climax, emphasizing the consequences of human actions on the environment and mythical creatures alike. How does that align with your thoughts?
Yeah, I like that. That sounds good. So now I need names and character descriptions for all the characters that are involved in this short film test.
Names and descriptions bring these characters to life, don't they? Let's start with our protagonists from the elfin realm. First, we have Lilia ***. She's a young elf, notable for her fiery red hair that cascades like a waterfall down her back and eyes as green as the deepest forests. Lilia is petite, even for an elf, but what she lacks in size, she makes up for in spirit and curiosity about the human world. Her attire is a blend of earth tones with intricate patterns that mimic the natural elements of her home. Next is Irikur a wise elder among the elves serving as Lilia's mentor. His hair is silver like moonlight on snow, his posture dignified yet approachable. Irikur wears robes that seem to shimmer with a light all their own, embodying centuries of knowledge and connection to the mystical forces of nature. Our human protagonist is Bjorn a rugged fisherman with a heart as vast as the ocean. His beard is thick and his clothes are practical for his trade, woolens to keep out the cold and leather boots sturdy against the rocky shores. Bjorn's open-mindedness leads him to form an unlikely friendship with Lilia and Irikur. For our mythical whale, let's call him Havalur, the Icelandic word for whale, a majestic creature with hues of deep blue and silver that reflect the skies above and sea below. Havalur isn't just any whale. He possesses ancient wisdom and has a spiritual connection with Lilia and Irikur, guiding them through their journey. And lastly, our antagonist shall be Captain Hror a grizzled whaler driven by greed. He sees Havalur not as a magnificent being, but as prophet swimming in the cold waters. His appearance is marked by years at sea, weathered skin, scars from battles fought not only with creatures of the deep, but also humans over resources.
Thank you for that. That sounds really good. By the way, please remember that you don't need to vocalize the asterisks when you mention the names.
Oh, of course, I'll remember not to vocalize any special characters when mentioning names. Thank you for pointing that out, and I'm glad you found the ideas appealing. Is there anything else you'd like to delve into, or any other help you need with your project?
Yes, I would like to move on to dialogue because I think we got a really, really good story here. But we need to work on the dialogue. So can you give me a hand with that and start with dialogue here?
Let's set the scene in a lush hidden grove where our protagonist, Einar, encounters the mysterious elf, Leaf, for the first time. The air is thick with mist and the scent of pine needles. Einar, who are you? Lif, her voice as soft as the mist that surrounds them. I am called Lif. I belong to this land, just as the streams and the trees do. Einar taking a cautious step forward. I've roamed these woods for years, and never have I seen you or your kind before. Leaf, with a gentle smile. We've always been here, watching, guarding. It's rare for one of our kind to reveal themselves to humans. Einar, what do you guard? Leaf looks towards the sky briefly before meeting Einar's gaze again. The balance between all things, the harmony of nature.
Yeah, please do continue because we got quite a bit more to cover.
Ah, of course. Let's delve deeper into the dialogue then. Imagine our scene set in a dense, misty forest at the crack of dawn, with our main characters, the elf Adelstein and the human explorer Erikr, having their first encounter near an ancient runestone. Adelstein, why do you wander so far from your kin amidst these sacred woods? Erikr, taken aback by Adelstein's sudden appearance, but intrigued. I seek knowledge of old, something that connects us more deeply to this land. Adelstein, with a hint of amusement. And what makes you think such secrets are yours to claim? Their conversation would flow from cautious curiosity to a budding respect for each other's quest for understanding. This dynamic sets the tone for their relationship and frames the ensuing narrative. How does this foundation sound for developing further dialogue between them?
Yeah, that's great, but I'm missing the whaler here because I did really like that character, and I want to see how you would envision his dialogue to be like.
Ah, the whaler. In my mind, he's a rugged soul, weathered by the sea and its whims. He speaks with a heavy heart, knowing well the cost of his trade. The ocean whispers tales of old, ones we've all but forgotten, he might say, gazing out over the water. But at what price do we listen? At what price do we forget? His words are tinged with regret, for he knows too well the balance between man and nature has been lost.
Okay, great. Um, Now summarize this, what we've been working on, into a revised logline and create a, catchy summary for the short.
In a world where the ancient whispers of Iceland meet the mystical, a daring tale unfolds. Whispers in the Mist navigates the fragile alliance between ethereal elves and humans in medieval times, against a backdrop of icy landscapes and mythical whales. When greed fractures this bond, leading to a tragic pursuit that threatens their very existence, both realms face a test of loyalty and survival. This story weaves together folklore and environmental consciousness into an unforgettable cinematic journey, challenging the notion of happily ever after with a dark twist on human nature's impact on the world.
That's great. I love how you incorporated all the revisions. Thank you for that. I'm really looking forward to start working on this.
You're most welcome. I'm thrilled to hear you're excited about the project. If there's anything more you need, whether it's further refining ideas or exploring new ones, I'm here to help. Just let me know how I can assist in bringing your vision to life.
All right, goodbye for now. And oh, by the way, I was streaming this to YouTube. Do you know what YouTube is? No idea. All right, well, that's it. As you can see, still work in progress, but it's pretty it's pretty insane, to be honest. I think we just came up with a really good story. Obviously, you need to kind of work and iterate on that. But what I find quite fascinating is that you're kind of having this kind of dialogue rather than just reading text. It feels like more of a brainstorm session. And of course, like all these characters can be programmed in different ways. But I really like this conversational approach about creative because you could probably save everything that she told us, but I think if you have a conversational approach, you kind of also imagine things yourself, and you'll embellish it or change it, and so on. I think it resulted in a pretty good conversation and something that I would definitely watch and would love to make. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited to put this out and actually start working on this with Replikant. I hope you had a good time watching. I'm checking out now. Bye.